Now see, fire can do both construction and destruction depending on the user who operates or uses it in the same manner. Great ambition may beget means create or bear. In the same manner, great ambition may beget both the best and the worst unless it is guided by moral and ethical principles. Noble principles act to great ambitions what a compass does to a ship. I made a comparison. I said fire can do both construction and destruction depending on the user who operates or uses it in the same manner. See, this topic is completely based on philosophical idea that should be productive. So this is how you have to generate, you have to bring something creative out of you, and it takes some time. That is why I am giving you model answers. So I hope you are actually analyzing. Once the class is over, you are, according to my suggestion, according to my notion, according to my, I would say that expectation, you are revising everything. Just keep on revising, keep on analyzing, and just compare the answers with that of your answers. See, so I have made comparison. I said that in the same manner, great ambition may beget both the best and the worst unless it is guided by the moral and ethical principles. Now I give another comparison. What? Noble principles act to great ambitions what a compass does to a ship. I said noble principles act to great ambition. It means the relation between the noble principles and great ambition is the same as between a compass and a ship. What compass does? Compass shows direction to the persons, to the crew in the ship, right? Okay. The next one. The further this question says, great ambition without moral principles is like a situation wherein a person is sitting in the high-speed racing car dreaming of winning the race, but with an atypical steering that will lead the person to meet with an accident instead of winning that race. Again, comparison. Great ambition. I made a comparison between great ambition without moral principles. When somebody has a great ambition but no principles, no moral principles, then it is like a situation wherein a person is sitting in car with an atypical steering, means the steering is not working properly. So if you are sitting in a racing car and you are very ambitious of winning the race, can you win the race? We cannot win the race. So these examples we have to set we have to write in order to make better understanding of your answers. See, there have been many examples of great rulers with great ambition. Those who had moral and ethical principles brought a great revolution to their countries, whereas those without principles lead to fiasco. For example, the first example is of Adolf Hitler. He dreamed of a greater Germany and rid his country of problems like hyperinflation, distress, etc. But his policy of anti-Semitism, hatred, militancy led to the end of his ambition. Although he was guided by principles, but those were immoral principles that eventually caused World War II and transformed him into a villainous character. We are blaming Adolf Hitler for the Second World War because of his immoral principles. He was ambitious, but his principles were immoral, not moral. Now the second example is of Abraham Lincoln. This question asked about some examples. So first was of Adolf Hitler with a moral example, and the second example is of Abraham Lincoln, who has ambition with moral principles. So in Abraham Lincoln, what I say, his ambition was guided by moral principles which led him fight for the emancipation of the slaves. Positively, he later unified the South and the North that formed the USA. There are some printing mistakes, so I'll correct it, then I'll send you to the group. Now, the same question I have written in 150 words. The same question I have written in 150 words, answer in 150 words. Clear? So once I share it with your group on the app, it is uploaded on the app. Just compare how I have concised that thought process into 150 words. Right. So I'm trying to guide you in different ways. See, I have compared passion with intensity, right? And intensity is driven by, this is an understood notion in the question, that your passion is actually guided by your moral and ethical fabric of thinking, right? That's why while keeping in mind the word limit, I just have to simply go with ambition with moral principles. Clear? See, basically this question is about ambition and passion. I said that ambition is like fire, passion is like intensity. If the fire has no intensity, will it be useful for any purpose? See, this question is about ambition and passion. So what is the trap in this question? What is the trap? As I have said you, as soon as we happen to see the question in this paper or any paper of civil service examination, we must be able to understand two things. What is the trap in this question? Second, what is the purpose? So this question is about ambition and passion. The biggest trap is if we keep on describing the relation between ambition and passion in the whole answer, we will not score more than 1 or 2 marks out of 10. So this is the trap. What is the purpose? Purpose is what dimensions you create. What dimensions you create or you basically illustrate with examples to justify the purpose of this question. Why UPSC has asked this? Because UPSC is not willing for you to be a good philosopher. UPSC is looking for good bureaucrats, good administrators. So I basically compared ambition and passion with fire and intensity. Ambition is like fire, passion is like intensity. So if you are ambitious but you don't have passion, you cannot achieve a target. Then I transform that issue that, okay, you are ambitious, you have passion, you have fire with intensity. But don't you think fire can be both constructive and destructive? If we are using fire for constructive purposes, that's good. But if we are using fire for destroying something, somebody's house or something, then it will be destructive. So I took a turn. I made this question transform into such a way that give some ethical notions to this question. I said, you have ambition, you have passion, like you have fire, you have intensity. But if you don't have moral understanding, moral principles, you cannot reach anywhere. And then I gave 2 examples. One of Adolf Hitler, who has passion, who has ambition and passion, but he didn't have moral principles. Second, Abraham Lincoln, who also had ambition and passion, but he had moral principles. So the act of and the behavior of Adolf Hitler caused destruction, and the act and decisions and behavior of Abraham Lincoln cause construction. Somebody has asked me the example from any scripture. Duryodhan was the example of ambition and passion without moral principles, right? Yeah, it's absolutely okay if we give examples of scriptures because they are proven examples. Keeping one thing in mind, that you mustn't be looking emotional towards a particular scripture or a particular character given in the scripture. We have to behave like an administrator from now. What you have to be in future, you have to think today. What I'm saying. So behave like an administrator, that we are the administrators. We are neither Hindus, nor Muslims, nor Christians, nor from Bihar, nor from Uttar Pradesh. We are basically the people of India appointed as the bureaucrats. Clear? So we have to execute the policies made for the people by the legislative. Clear?